Alright, so it's another episode. Early morning, ULM X, Universal Language Media Exchange, life in Germany. It's raining out today. I just got to work. Fortunately, I have a place where I can park my bike, which is covered. It has a roof, but everyone smokes in there, so yeah, not a desirable place to be. Pretty wet, but well prepared. Now I'm going to get changed, and I'll let you see Vespa today.
Got this backpack at Decathlon for $35 with a rain cover. Nice, right? Anyway, so here's Vespa. You buy your own food at the company cafe with your after-tax dollars. And since I didn't have any cash, I really couldn't take part in the bagels or whatever, pretzels. Actually, they don't have bagels. But we do have free apples. So I took advantage of that offer. So it's a rainy day here in the Ulm area, and I thought I would just break out the rainy day list of little tiny differences between the United States and Germany that, in case, for some reason all record of the 2000s goes missing, or we have to pare down our history and in the future, they go through the internet and they categorize everything alphabetically and they save only my record of things. Well, we'll have caught up on some of the smaller Feinheiten between the United States and Germany. Really meaningless stuff here. All interesting nonetheless. Starting with the vanity plates. In the United States, with your license plate, you just get assigned a number unless you decide you want to pay an extra $40 and have that plate with some letter or number combination of your choosing, and we call it a vanity plate. And the vanity word means it doesn't really matter what your license plate is. It's a vanity for you to want to choose something like Bumblebee or anything cute like that. In Germany, you have the first two letters predetermined for you because the city will be put on that. The city is where you register your vehicle, and so when you have a license plate, it's going to say the city on there. For example, in Ulm, it's UL. And then after that, you have a couple of letters to work with, and then a certain number of numbers or digits. And everyone gets to choose what comes after the UL, as long as it's not already taken. And we consider this vanity in the United States and charge you extra for it. But there is a reason for it. In Germany, it makes it easier for you to remember your license plate. Although it's only a small number of digits, 7 digits, not even as long as your phone number. But still, for some reason, no one in the United States makes a real big point to memorize their license plate number when it's just some random number. Some people have trouble memorizing that. And well, it is kind of a weird combination of letters, meaningless letters and numbers. So that's understandable. But what we see there in the United States as a vanity to determine your own numbers, your own license plate number, is seen as a practical thing here in Germany because it makes it easier for you to remember it. So what a lot of people do here in Ulm is because the UL comes automatically, then they pick the next letter M, that way it says Ulm on the license plate. Although the symbol for something, there's some symbol in between the UL for the city and the rest, but it still looks kind of like it just says Ulm with a big space between the L and the M. Anyway, moving on to the next huge difference between the United States and Germany. Well, I want to talk about at the gym how you're allowed to wear a no-sleeve shirt. I'm sure there are places in the United States where this is allowed. Don't understand me incorrectly. I don't think that everything is like my experiences, but I do think this is a pretty good policy. And at the gyms that I had been to up until I came here, it was always a rule that you had to have at least a t-shirt, because otherwise you're just getting so much sweat all over everything that it's a bit too disgusting for a gym. That it's not like your home gym. Other people are going to be using this equipment even after you wipe it off. I mean, it's just disgusting. You got too much sweat coming out from around your clothes if you have on a tank top, or if the tank top is unlimitedly thin in the back. But that's been the rule where I've worked out in the United States, where you can't wear anything less than a t-shirt. And I had definitely run into the situation where I only had a tank top, and like at my university gym, they just like said, you can't work out in that. And I'm, oh yeah, I forgot. Because like you don't need a t-shirt to play basketball. But then they'll be like, yeah, we have extra t-shirts if you need one. And it's like included, I don't know. They'll just wash it later and then put it back under the desk. But they'll give you some big gray t-shirt to put on. Because it's just a hygiene thing and a cleanliness thing where I don't want to be working out on like a bench that just had some dude. I already know that like sweat is coming through the shirt as it is. We don't need direct contact between the skin and the bench. Here's a major difference. The stop signs. The stop signs look really, really similar, but whereas in the United States it says stop, in Germany it says stopp. That was a joke. You're supposed to be laughing. Maybe I'll start laughing. Stopp, nicht stop. You guys didn't really think the stop signs were going to be different, did you? I'll tell you something that's the same that I really appreciate. When I was in England, this was different. And I'm not just talking about driving on the wrong side of the road here. They drive on the wrong side of the road. Everyone knows that. But what's crazy is they can park facing in either direction when they parallel park on the side of the road. And those people are nuts, man. I mean, every time you come around a curve, you feel like someone's on your side of the road coming at you head on, but it's just a parked car. How can they not have a rule for that? I really appreciate that Germany sticks to their guns and they live the precise life, and they have, if you're parking on the right side of the road, you have to be in the direction of traffic. If you're parking on the left side of the road, you have to be in that direction of traffic. It's order. That's progress. That's order. All right, to follow up the joke with something a little bit serious, maybe a little bit boring, something you'd think you'd eventually get used to, but in the last 3 years, I haven't gotten used to it. And it's not that I haven't gotten used to it sometimes, it's just that you can't get used to it and just stick and be fully consistent with it. There are actually two things like this. The date, which is instead of day, month, instead of month, day, year, it's day, month, year. And yeah, I can get used to the fact that it's a period separator between the dates, whereas in the United States you have a slash or a minus sign. In Germany you have the period, but it just gets me so confused still to this day. Like, are we in day, month, year, month, day, year? When I say my birthday in German, it's like, what did I just say? And then if you're doing work in, say, Excel or any program, it depends on the operating system language, usually, how that is going to accept numbers. So the next thing I want to mention is the comma or period separator between full numbers and decimals. And that can be a bear, because you'll just be trying to compute something and you'll just naturally type in 15.5. And it's going to say, like, what do you want? That's not a number. And you're like, oh, yeah, it wants the comma. 15, comma 5. Or it could go the other way around, because I think I had my computer set to German for a while, but there was some reason I had to switch it back to English for something. I think it was doing screenshots. I don't know. But I'm back in the English mode, and I'm not really sure which way is it set up. So every time I do something in Numbers or Excel, I have to like really think about it. What does it want, the comma or the period separator? And I really wish we could just like all get on the same page between the United States and Europe on that one. Although I don't think it's going to happen, because there are more people in Europe, but America's not going to the comma. The comma makes no sense to Americans. Comma separating full numbers from, no. The period is for separating the whole numbers from the decimals. The comma is separating thousands places. But I wish. Anyway, another thing that is kind of funny, but I also haven't been able to fully adjust to, also due to my personality, I just don't go clothes shopping too much. But the clothing sizes are like one notch down. Basically, a medium in the United States would be called a large here, and the clothes are just tighter. And so like I already kind of was like on the verge between large and extra large depending on the clothing item, and now like I feel like I have to go XL to XL, and there usually isn't a 2XL. Like I think I got 2XL underwear, and they actually got to be too small just through like one time through the dryer. Pretty disappointing. But yeah, tighter clothes. Hard to get used to. And I still don't know my German or European shoe size. I actually haven't figured that out yet. Am I a 42 or a 44? I have no idea. I might even be a 46 depending on the shoe, because they don't even line up, you know? Like I was like a 10.5, but depends on the shoe. If it was a Nike, probably an 11, could even be an 11.5 because Nikes are so tight. But like here, what am I? I think I'm a 44, but you know, I always have to just check whatever shoes I'm wearing, and then I can try some on, and usually it takes forever. I actually have 2 more things on my list here. It's tiny things, but I can talk forever about them, can't I? So I haven't been able to adjust to the fact that the polite way to eat in Germany or in Europe is this continental manners. So like with the fork, you take it, if these are the tines of the fork, in the United States, you have it like this, and it goes in like that. Of course, if I do it like this, it looks insane. But it's a fork, and you're holding it like this. You're holding the fork like this. In Germany, you take the tines, and it goes this way, and this is the polite way. You know, this is the continental manners. The 4 tines are like this. So you're holding the fork like this. Wait. How was I holding the fork before? Like this? Oh no, you're still holding the fork the same with your hand, but the thing has twisted. So now the fork is like this instead of like this. And I find this method totally pretentious, and not only pretentious, but rude. And this is supposed to be the good manners. Like when I see someone doing that, and I reflect on the fact that these are just my feelings, and like I moved from the United States when I was 25. I'm not fully developed at this time. I don't know manners like exactly how to set the table with like 4 forks and 3 spoons and then the knife and where exactly everything goes, and if you have like 3 cups and the dessert. I don't know all these things. Ask the Queen of England. But yeah, this was like this way. This continental way is like you're rushing to eat really quickly. Oh, that's how you do it. You like you put your finger on the back, and it's like. Anyway, I asked my mother, like, what do you think? What do you think when you see someone eating like that? She's like, I don't know. They're in a hurry. It's like, yeah, They're in a hurry. They're like trying to stuff their faces. That's how I see it. But like that's the and so for me, I'm thinking, should I do it? Because this is technically the more polite way to do it, but I feel like it's so pretentious, and if you do it slowly, it's pretentious. If you do it at a normal speed, you look like you're just famished, and you have no manners. I don't know. And like, it's just so hard to do it right, because I feel like everyone kind of understands the whole fork scooping angle, but if you actually do it like the British way, like if you're going to eat mashed potatoes and scoop it onto the back of the tines of your fork, and you're actually going to squeeze your peas and squish them into those mashed potatoes, that's how you're going to get your peas, and you're not going to scoop like the Italians, all right, fine. But you have to get it like this. You have to have that fork coming up totally straight. But if you're actually hungry and you're trying to eat pretty fast and you're trying to do this, eventually it's going to be like, I've been going to the gym, practicing my form. You're going to break your form. And what's the form going to break? Like, how can it break if you're doing it like this? It's just going to be the same. But if you're doing this, your form's going to break down to this. And you're going to be coming in from the side. You're going to be coming in from the side. And you're going to be like hunching over. You're not going to be getting this thing straight up anymore. You're not going to be sitting straight up anymore. It's going to be like, it's going to be like using the pitchfork on the barn, trying to feed yourself hay. But anyway, haven't gotten used to which is technically correct, which is technically the good manners. And one other thing that I still notice every time is when I call someone on the phone and the dial tone is different. In the United States, when you dial the number and you say, all right, I'm calling grandma, I'm going to wait for her to pick up the phone, it's going to go like this. Brrr, 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 brrr. In German, it goes like this. Boop, 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 boop. In America, when you hear that sound, it means you're not getting through. It means there's no way you're going to get a connection. Technically, it's when that line is already used. That's when you get the boop, boop, boop dial tone. It means busy. It means besetzt. But, yeah, whatever. I really find it intuitive, the ringing. Brrr, brrr. That's what you hear on the other end, too. But hey, hasn't really changed much in my life. It's just something that I've noticed, which is pretty much all these things are for the rainy day. The rainy day list of tiny differences, you might say tiny culture shocks. From ULM X, the Universal Language Media Exchange, the proud creator of the ULM X English app on the App Store. If you don't have an Apple product or you want to try before you buy, check out on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, the free podcast, and tell us what you think. We're working on producing more content, but we're also heavily involved in the development of the next version of the app, which will allow it to contain multiple albums, and that way we can get multiple languages in there. We're going to do English-German, because right now we have German-English, and there are people who want to learn German who speak English, so we have to go in the other direction. So the app needs to be built out a little bit wider, further, more broadly, and then we're going to be able to really pump out the content. But yeah, this is just a fun video. Hope you liked it. ULM X, Universal Language Media Exchange. Until next time, peace.